My father was an immigrant from Jamaica, West Indies. You're probably wanting to find out, what does this have to do with my audition to music and art? But we'll get to that. When my dad and my mom immigrated and got married and bought their first house, the first piece of furniture they bought was a piano. They thought that having a piano in the house made them rich. Again, what does that have to do with the audition? I'll get to that. Mom and Dad made sure that all of us played the piano. I started playing the piano at 4 years old. By the time I was in junior high school, I was a proficient pianist. However, my junior high school did not know this. I started playing the violin in junior high school. It seemed that this was the time of the Lindsay administration and instruments were all over several junior high schools in New York City. Back to my father. For a Jamaican immigrant, I did not know how this man knew about specialized high schools. He found out about music and art and performing arts, and he decided that his children were all going to go to a specialized high school. When I was in 9th grade, I went to my guidance counselor to tell her that I was going to audition to music and art. She looked at me, not knowing that I had played the piano since I was 4 years old, and told me I would never get into such a prestigious school. I went home very discouraged and told my father, who just said, "Does she not know you know how to play piano?" I said, "The only thing she knows that I know how to play is the violin, and I have just started it in 7th grade." He said it was foolishness, and he was going to take me to the auditions at Music and Art and Performing Arts. The Performing Arts audition was first. When my father drove me to the Performing Arts audition on 46th Street at the time and saw Times Square, he said, "Specialized high school or not, you are not going to be in this location." I went to the audition. I played the piano first because I knew that you could be a piano major at Performing Arts. And then I played the violin. 2 days later, I went to Music and Arts audition. When my father saw the campus at City College, he said, "This is where you're going to go." I heard that you could not be a piano major at Music and Art, so I played the violin first. I could see that I was not very proficient in my audition, and I received no accolades. I did not receive any nodding of heads, so I thought I failed. One of the teachers asked me, did I know any other instrument? And I said, yes, I know how to play the piano. They told me to play the piece that I was prepared to play, which happened to be a Chopin piece. The minute I started playing the piano, all of a sudden, I saw the teachers starting to erase whatever they wrote on their paper and started writing things again. So I knew that I played the piano better than the violin. Weeks later, I was called to my guidance counselor's office from the loudspeaker. When I got to her office, She was very surprised and told me that she couldn't believe that I got into performing arts. I said nothing. She said, "Are you going to accept?" And I said, "I'm going to wait until I hear from Music and Art." And she looked at me quizzically, saying, "But you got into performing arts." And I said, "I'll wait." And I left her, and I went back to my classroom. About an hour later, my name got called on the loudspeaker to go back to the guidance counselor. I went, and she said, "We just heard from Music and Art. You got in as well." I said, "Oh." I have to ask my father, but I think I'm going to take that. I went home, and my father said, See, you're not stupid. She just didn't know." I went to Music and Art, and I had a wonderful experience. The next year, my sister Barbara auditioned as a vocal major and got in. A couple of years later, my sister Suzanne auditioned and got in. Music and Art has been the home to 3 Ffolke sisters, a Ffolke's cousin, and when they merged, my 2 children, David and Victoria. A wonderful place, and I hope that my granddaughter Nia will be the next generation.